Hi, my name is Bianca, and today I'll be talking about the IEP process. If your child is receiving special education services or is in the process of being evaluated, it is important to understand the IEP process. This begins with a referral. Referrals can come from several people, such as you, a parent, a teacher, a counselor, and so on. A referral typically occurs when someone recognizes that a child has needs that differ from other students their age. It's important to note that the behavior must be ongoing. However, there are steps that are taken before choosing to provide a student with special education services. There are typically interventions set in place to develop a student and identify any concerns that persist if interventions are not helping the student succeed. Then they may be referred for an evaluation. An evaluation must be completed shortly after being requested. This can either lead to an IEP or a 504 plan. The purpose behind the evaluation is to determine if a student is eligible for those special education services, and this is provided free of charge by the school district. After the evaluation is completed, it'll be determined if the student is eligible for an IEP, a 504 plan, or none of the above. To qualify for special education services, the student must fall into one of 13 categories. To mention a few of the 13, it would be autism, intellectual disabilities, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, orthopedic impairment, and more. Moving forward, if the student is eligible for special education services, it's important to know the components of the IEP. As you may know, an IEP is an individual education plan. This plan covers many topics such as where the student currently lies academically, their annual goals, services, accommodations, transitional goals, and consent. Each and every one of these things make up the educational plan. It's important to know where the student is academically when making the plan in order to set realistic and attainable goals. With that, it is important to track the student's progress. Being fully aware of what special education services the students will be receiving is crucial. For example, if a student has hearing aids or has visual impairments and they need proper accommodations in a general education classroom, this would be things such as sitting closer to the board or sitting closer to the teacher. After the components of the IEP have been completed, a parent or a guardian has to consent and approve what has been written in the IEP. Overall, one of the most important parts of the process is parent and student involvement, because at the end of the day, a parent knows their child best. It is important that parents give their input and present their concerns during the process. Parents can present what they have observed at home that may play a factor in their education at school. Along with having a voice when goals are being set, with parental help, the goal set will be realistic and hopefully attainable in the grand scheme of things. It's important to be present, to ask questions, and to be informed with what the child is doing at school. Feedback is very, very important. An IEP can be set and there would be no need for accommodations, but sometimes there are adjustments that do need to be made. The IEP team develops a plan based on the information that was received at the time. If the special education teacher or a general education teacher notices something may be too difficult or too easy, modifications may need to be made. It's important to maintain ongoing communication to ensure the student is getting the best education possible with parental input in the event that the IEP does need to be changed, because this does require parental consent. Transparency can allow for an open flow of honest communication, so if there ever are any questions or concerns, they can be addressed properly.